Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. This is an art collage novel video. I made this series so you guys can experience the story faster. The video will focus on the character's psychology, the images are for illustration purposes only. Can be used against a 9-leaf cultivator? Zhou was puzzled. Zhou Wenliang continued to say, this armor was sent by the crown prince, Liu Ji. He said that a 9-leaf cultivator will be able to activate the armor's special power. In any case, I don't believe it at all. Please examine this thoroughly, Senior Ji. After he finished speaking, his eyes instinctively wandered to the sides again. He wondered where the other little villains were. Why were there only 2 repulsive men in the hall apart from the pavilion master? Naturally, he did not dare give voice to these questions. Pan Zhong said with a sneer, there's no need for you to tell us what to do. Since you're so good at telling others what they should do, why didn't you tell Lin Xian to personally come and apologize? A helpless expression appeared on Zhou Wenliang's face as he said, even the president can't persuade the Patriarch, let alone us. Wang Jianrang, who was kneeling at the back, hastily said, please examine this thoroughly, Senior Ji. The 3 of us are sincere in our apologies. That old fart, Lin Xian, is trying to push the Taishu Academy to destruction. As elders, we can't stay idle when the academy is being pushed onto the path of destruction. Liu Zhou remained silent. He rose to his feet and descended the steps. He came to a stop in front of Zhou Wenliang and studied the armor again. He flipped his palm, and the armor floated up. It was covered in fine red threads. Every detail was meticulously carved. Although Zhou Jifeng did not understand the veins on the armor, previously, he had been ordered to make copies of the veins on the coffin. Therefore, he still had a vague recollection of the veins on the coffin. When he finally saw the veins on the armor, he exclaimed in shock, why do they resemble the veins on the coffin? Liu Zhou stroked his beard and continued to study it. Zhou Wenliang looked up and said, the crown prince, Liu Ji, has said that the unique power of this armor will be activated when it encounters a 9-leaf cultivator. It's only a despicable lie to fool children. Liu Ji wants to use the Taishu Academy to keep the evil sky pavilion occupied. Hence, he produced this so-called special armor to drive a wedge between us. Liu Zhou looked at Zhou Wenliang and asked, why do you say that? Well, this is just my opinion. If there's truly a way to deal with a 9-leaf cultivator, the crown prince would have used this when the 7 great sects attacked you back then. Otherwise, why did he keep the armor hidden and send the other sects to meet their deaths? Zhou Wenliang replied. Liu Zhou did not refute Zhou Wenliang's opinion. After all, Zhou Wenliang had a point. However, when the 7 great sects laid siege on the Golden Court Mountain, nobody believed that the 9-leaf stage existed. If Lin Xian were to don the armor, with his skills, he could stand up against cultivators of the 8-leaf stage and below. At that time, only a 9-leaf cultivator could take Lin Xian down. Senior Ji, please examine this thoroughly, Zhou Wenliang said in a clear voice. Only an outstanding talent can recognize current trends. Liu Zhou turned around and paced with his hands on his back, put it on. Huh? Zhou Wenliang was taken aback. He did not know where this was going. Without waiting for a reply from Liu Zhou, Pan Zhong urged Zhou Wenliang. Get on with it. Wear it. Yes, yes, yes. Zhou Wenliang dared not dally. He hastily put on the thick and heavy armor. After donning it, he remained in his submissive position and dared not move. Liu Zhou gauged him for a moment. The veins were basically the same as the ones on the coffin. He said tonelessly, stand up. Zhou Wenliang did as he was told. He stood up, trembling with fear and trepidation. The moment he stood up, he saw Liu Zhou raising his big wizened hand. There was a flurry of movements before he saw a shining golden palm seal shooting out of Liu Zhou's palm. Ah! Zhou Wenliang did not expect Liu Zhou to suddenly attack him. He was completely caught off guard. Bam! The palm seal landed on Zhou Wenliang's chest. He keenly felt the impact of the attack as he was sent flying back with his back arched. Wang Jianrang and Zhang Gong frowned as they looked at Zhou Wenliang, who was sent reeling back. The palm seal did not fade away immediately. It stuck to Zhou Wenliang tightly as he flew out of the great hall. Thud. When the power subsided, Zhou Wenliang lay on the ground, facing the sky. He felt as though his joints had come loose. It was a terrible feeling. Evidently, the special power of the armor was not triggered at all. At this moment, Wang Jianrang was the first to react. He cried out, "Look! This item is a fake, after all." Zhang Gong chimed in, "Lin Xian is too despicable. He has no regard for the safety of the Taishu Academy. We were almost fooled by Lu Ji." To be honest, Lu Zhou's palm strike was that of a 2-leaf nascent divinity realm cultivator. It was not a 9-leaf elite's attack. Lu Zhou felt helpless as well. I can't just launch a 9-leaf attack just because I want to. Regardless of the strength of the blow, it was still of the 2-leaf nascent divinity realm. Pan Zhong interjected, "Your control over palm seals have truly reached amazing heights, Pavilion Master." Zhou Jifeng. Outside the Great Hall, Zhou Wenliang picked himself up with difficulty. He stood outside and bowed at Lu Zhou as he said, "That was a powerful strike, Senior Ji. This armor is completely useless." One of his hands was pressed to his chest as he endured the pain and walked into the Great Hall again. Lu Zhou studied the armor and the veins on it again. Nothing was triggered at all. Nevertheless, he had a hunch, just like the coffin, the armor was not a fake. So, it can only be triggered by a 9-leaf attack? Lu Zhou was still lost in his thoughts when a loud voice rang from outside the Great Hall. "Master, your palm seal is too dazzling. I could see it clearly from afar." Zhu Honggong walked into the hall with his back bent. "Mr. 8th. Pan Zhong and Zhou Jifeng greeted Zhu Honggong at the same time. The 3 Taishu Academy's elders turned around and saw the fat and big-eared Zhu Honggong walking into the hall with his back bent. They were puzzled. Was this the evil Sky Pavilion's Mr. 8th, Zhu Honggong? This guy? This guy was the evil king? When Zhu Honggong was walking past them, the ingratiating smile on his face disappeared. However, as soon as he passed them, the ingratiating smile appeared on his face again. Clearly, he had reached great heights in changing his expressions. Pan Zhong and Zhou Jifeng were duly impressed. Pan Zhong remembered his own attempt at flattery moments ago. Compared to Zhu Honggong, it seemed like he still had ways to go. "What is it?" Lu Zhou looked at Zhu Honggong. Zhu Honggong said, "4th senior brother wants me to pass on a message to you. He said that the Taishu Academy has long been associated with the imperial family. Is he not a disciple of the evil Sky Pavilion? Why does he need to help someone to pass on a message?" Despite the thoughts running across his mind, Zhou Wenliang fell to his knees immediately as soon as he heard Zhu Honggong's words. "Please examine this thoroughly, Senior Ji. That's the old fart, Lin Xian's idea. The 3 of us have nothing to do with it." Lu Zhou looked at the trio calmly. Nobody could tell what was running through his mind. Finally, he said indifferently, "I can feel the sincerity from 3 of you. Leave the armor here." Zhou Wenliang was overjoyed. He immediately removed the armor. Then, the trio from the Taishu Academy thanked Lu Zhou in unison. "Thank you, Senior Ji." Ding. Worshipped by 3 individuals. Reward, 3 merit points. But. Huh? The trio who had just relaxed tensed up again. "Once I ascertain Lin Xian is the only one causing trouble, I'll spare the 3 of you. Lock them up for now." Lu Zhou waved his hand. Pan Zhong and Zhou Jifeng bowed at the same time. "Understood. Please examine this thoroughly, Senior Ji." "Senior Ji, I'm telling the truth." As he was dragged away, Zhou Wenliang wondered when he had misspoken. He could find any fault with his words. What was happening? In the end, the trio was locked in the Northern Pavilion's warehouse where they could even see the sun. Inside the warehouse, Wang Jianran asked, Elder Zhou, will you plan work? Don't worry. It'll work. With his hands on his back, Zhou Wenliang said, at the very least, old villain Ji didn't outright kill us, right? The problem is, now that the armor is proven to be fake, how is Lin Xian going to deal with old villain Ji? Wang Jianrang asked. Zhou Wenliang frowned. It doesn't matter if it's real or not. So long as old villain Ji believes Lin Xian is in cahoots with the crown prince, it's enough. With Lin Xian out of the picture and President Xiao Shan in Yu province, the Taishu Academy will belong to the three of us. Old villain Ji is a 9-leaf cultivator, after all. He won't be defeated that easily. Wang Jianrang nodded. You've truly thought this through, brother Zhou. Zhou Wenliang snorted. Men die for riches while birds die for food. How can you get the cub without entering the tiger's den? When the tiger's den was mentioned, Zhang Gong said in a hushed tone, by the way, the evil sky pavilion doesn't look as scary as I expected it to be. Zhou Wenliang nodded and said, you're right. Based on our short exchange, old villain Ji didn't seem as short-tempered as rumored. Also, he's somewhat reasonable. What are we going to do now? Wang Jiangrang asked. It's all right for us to stay here. Once Lin Xian is dead, old villain Ji should release us. Most importantly, we can't afford to say the wrong things after this, Zhou Wenliang said warningly. Understood. Meanwhile, in a certain court in the southern pavilion of the Evil Sky Pavilion, the four elders had gathered together. At this moment, Lang Luo, Pan Litian, Hua Wudao, and Zui Yushu took turns to study the armor. After learning about the situation with the Taishu Academy, the four of them were lost in thought. After a moment, Lu Zhou said, Elders, what do you think? Lang Luo said, the formation veins on the armor are fine. I've never seen them before. I don't think anyone in this world is capable of making them. That's what I thought as well. I agree, Hua Wudao chimed in. The three elderly men exchanged a look as though commending each other for sharing the same wise opinion. Lu Zhou looked at Zui Yushu, who remained silent. Zui Yushu rolled her eyes at the three old men. She muttered to herself for a brief moment before she asked, is this the armor really from Lin Xian, brother? Of course. Lu Zhou suddenly recalled that Zui Yushu was originally a Confucian elite. She shared the same roots as Lin Xian. Zui Yushu said with a front, to think that he has gone and colluded with the crown prince. I am reminded of one thing, though. What is it? Back when I had just attained the 8-leaf stage, I was invited to the palace to meet His Majesty. We discussed our thoughts and experiences of being at the 8-leaf stage. His Majesty once asked if I looked forward to the 9-leaf stage. I smiled and said there was no such thing in the world. In hindsight, the imperial family must have long known about the 9-leaf stage a long time ago. This armor is surely made by a 9-leaf cultivator, Zui Yushu replied. Lang Luo, Hua Wudao, and Pan Litian were inwardly shocked by Zui Yushu's words. It was common knowledge that the Confucian school was adept in formation veins. There was no reason to doubt her words. If my observations are correct, once these formation veins are activated, they'll produce a powerful surge of energy that 8-leaf and 9-leaf cultivators would find difficult to defend against. The others inhaled sharply upon hearing this. Zhu Honggong wore an incredulous expression on his face as he asked, it's so powerful? Of course. You're still young and inexperienced. The Confucian school is an expert in formations. It's nothing to be surprised about. I'm enlightened. Zhu Honggong bowed. Lu Zhou nodded. I see. He raised his palm and sent a surge of energy to carry the armor over. The four elders and Zhu Honggong retreated. They saw a faint blue light shining from between Lu Zhou's fingers. 4 huge scripts could be seen around his hand. This was the technique, abandon wisdom. The palm seal struck the armor. Lu Zhou had thought the armor's special powers would not be triggered, but it suddenly buzzed. Stand back, Lu Zhou said gruffly. The 4 elders pushed away from the ground and shot out of the great hall. Wait, me. Wait for me. Zhu Honggong turned around and ran out. The armor unleashed a scarlet light. Lu Zhou did not leave. He stared at the armor. What kind of power was capable of dealing with a 9-leaf cultivator? BZZT. 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 The armor kept vibrating. The red veins seemed to be set on fire as it spread. The veins turned into energy lines that crept into the surroundings like a spider's web. A slight sense of unease stirred inside Lu Zhou. Should I use my critical block card? Lu Zhou could sense the danger from the energy lines. It was strange, stranger than those on the coffins. At this moment, realization dawned on him. The Heavenly Writings human scroll was slightly stronger than a 9-leaf cultivator. It was the heavenly writing power that triggered the special power of the armor. Whoosh. 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 Pavilion Master. Master. The powerful energy instantly enveloped the courtyard at lightning speed. Stand back. Zhou Yushu grabbed Zhu Honggong and flew away. As expected, its power is comparable to the 9-leaf stage. Lang Luo, Hua Wudao, and Pan Litian stayed as far as they could. The red web covering the air above them kept spreading. It spread toward the skies and eventually vanished. Everything fell silent again soon after. The 4 elders and Zhu Honggong stood unmoving, stunned. Although they were former 8-leaf elites, they were still shocked by the strange power that emitted great danger. A frown could be seen on their faces as they looked at the courtyard. None of them dared to speak or move. Zhu Honggong fell backward and sat limply on the ground. He began to cry out, "Master! Master! You can't die! Master!" The 4 elders of the Old Age Pavilion. Die? That's unlikely. However, the elders were uncertain if Lu Zhou was completely unharmed. After all, in their eyes, Lu Zhou was a bona fide 9-leaf cultivator. Although the armor could unleash an energy comparable to a 9-leaf elite, surely, the Pavilion Master could withstand it if he went all out? Creak. 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 Strange creaking noises rang from the building at this moment. Crack. The entire building seemed to be made of tofu as it began to fall apart in pieces. The ground was littered with debris. The red webs of energy lines had sliced through the building with their might. The cuts were smooth and even. Boom. More debris crashed onto the ground, stirring up a cloud of dust. Oh, Master.
Ah.
That's a... Master, it's good to see you're unharmed. The dust settled. Their vision cleared, and they saw Lu Zhou standing in his original spot with his hands on his back. He did not move at all. He was completely shrouded by a faint blue layer of electricity, protecting him from damage. Ding. Obtained the Earth Scroll Remnant Piece. Reward, 1,000 merit points. Earth Scroll Remnant Piece? Lu Zhou glanced at the Earth Scroll on the system dashboard. As he expected, the scripts on the scroll seemed to have been activated as they jumped about. This resembled the scene when he first read the contents of the human scroll. This meant that he could start meditating on the Earth Scroll. He had traveled far and wide to search for it only to find it so easily. Then, he checked his critical block cards. They were not triggered at all. This meant his power to silence everything had negated the blast from the energy lines. If it were not for the Heavenly Writing Scroll, he would have had no choice but to use an impeccable card to defend against the armor's mysterious power. For the time being, it was a win. Your amazing might is astonishing, Pavilion Master. I'm impressed by your technique, brother. Although I don't know what this technique is, it's certainly more powerful than an 8-leaf move. Hua Wudao was stunned speechless. Then, he quickly said, "When I first came to the Evil Sky Pavilion, I could still spar with the Pavilion Master even if I lost. However, now, I can't imagine sparring with you at all. To think I've treated you as a rival. What a joke." Someone like you can only be admired but never surpassed. The four elders offered their praises. Zhu Honggong was taken aback by this. He was about to say something as well when Lu Zhou asked, "Old eighth, why are you sitting on the ground?" Huh? Zhu Honggong immediately raised his hand to slap his face a few times. Master, I will deeply reflect on my actions. Reflect? Zhu Honggong continued to slap himself loudly. That's enough. Lu Zhou had just obtained the Earth Scroll and was in a good mood. He had no time to entertain Zhu Honggong. He said, "Tell Lin Xian that I've changed my mind. I want to see his head in 7 days."